when it comes to the work environment, we should be able to go into that environment as ourselves 100%. And we should have access to that environment because of our skills and abilities and what it is that we bring to the table rather than just how we appear.
You have to sit around the mirror and kind of use the afro comb and brush and brush and brush so it looks neat.
So many young black girls don't like their hair, don't like their natural hair. They won't be seen dead with their natural hair. And you're like, really?
Whereas the weave, it's already, the strand's already been there, straight, you just go.
Well, I think it's, for me, I've got short hair anyway, and I obviously like to change my looks all the time.
I wear weave because I cut my hair like really short, so then I decided to grow it back out.
It's more easier for me to maintain, and dealing with my natural hair sometimes hard work.
So then I'm just using weave to help it grow out the process really.
Curl my hair, have it straight, pull it up, tie it up, style it, whereas with your natural hair it's a bit harder.
When it comes to applying for a job in the UK, hairstyles are a big deal for black women as it could affect their employment.
When it comes to applying for a job, what people are being told is wear your hair a certain way because that will help you fit in. And that fitting in is not about embracing a diverse workforce, it's about saying we want everyone to be the same.
To feel like you have to fit into a culture sort of denies something about yourself. It's implying that something isn't right or something isn't good.
It has to do with self-confidence and your self-belief, and so I think it's to be very mindful of that fact that there could be two things going on at play. There may be some structural things that are like, oh no, you need to dress like this or be seen as that.
But they say with an interview that it's the first impression that makes, that actually forms the view of the interviewer, and I think there's something in that. I think it's like with everything, if you buy a dress or you look at a painting, often it's the one you saw first that you'll go back and buy.
But it can get in the way, I think, for many people when they're thinking specifically, we're talking about mainstreaming and actually going into a mainstream profession. I think people do think a lot about their hair and their quote-unquote tidiness.
I began my training over in Derby at the Aveda over there, and one of the girls who was responsible for my training, she had previously worked at an Afro-Caribbean salon. So as part of my general hairdressing training, Afro-Caribbean hair was part of it. There's nothing that can kind of scare you, hold you back. I think it makes you more comfortable with different types of hair. So even if like a Caucasian person came in with super, super curly hair, if you've got that understanding of how to work with Afro hair, then you can kind of look at that and be better able to handle it.
Nicole is one of many who believes that Afro hair is manageable once you are taught how to look after and style it. Although selling hair is his business, Dabs believes black women should embrace their natural hair.
Took interest in their own hair will be definitely could look more natural, more good than these synthetic hair or these human hair that we're selling,
Black women, long hair, or multicolored hair, nose piercing. It's something that other races don't have to think about, right? I mean, I'm lucky that I work in the arts, so it's never really been a thing, and it's not something that I think about. But in the corporate world, I'm not sure how this would work.
I think it's people with straight hair is less threatening, but there's something about them that it doesn't mean you're being cultural, and there's something about being cultural that seems quite threatening, and I don't know why that is, but there is that sort of feeling behind it.
No, I don't think it matters. I think it's just perceptions and stereotypes, and I think you're stuck with that because your young candidate coming for interview is wanting to get the job, and therefore they've got to satisfy the would-be employer that they're the right person.
I've read people when they've gone, they don't want people coming in with their hair plaited in extensions, and I'm like, sorry? Well, why can't somebody have their, what is that got to do with how you're looking beautiful, you're well presented, so why could you not have your hair straightened? And that's just in a normal day-to-day work.
For me, like, having always played and always had the affirmation growing up of being a good performer, I think the focus has always been on the music instead of my image.
It consumes a lot of energy if you're always trying to normalize yourself to the mainstream, rather than feeling as though you can bring your differences and your diversity out to bear and actually enable other people to benefit from that. You know, I think we were having the conversation of how I have several female friends who are lawyers, and it's really heartening for me to see these lovely, beautiful black women going into these top law firms with their dreadlocks. I don't think we would have seen it 10 years ago.
Bringing out our differences is something Rianne believes she does by being flexible with her different hairstyles. To seem approachable at work, she wears her hair in a way she feels is familiar to her customers.
I had my hair relaxed first, had my own hair before, and I just wanted something new, do you know what I mean? Like, I like to have styles all the time. The reason why I came for this colour, because of my skin, like, it's because I'm light skinned, do you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to look like Beyonce or anything, I'm trying to look like myself, do you know what I mean? And I thought this colour would suit me more, because I was going to go for like a plum colour, but I thought that would make me look darker, do you know what I mean? So I was just going for to basically make me more lighter, if you know what I'm trying to say.
When asked if natural hair was ever an option at work, her response was blunt.
I like long hair, so I don't like short hair. Do not like short hair. So I like long hair, so no, I won't go for my afro hair. And especially when I work at like a fashion shop, do you know what I mean? We've got to look the part. We can't just go to work looking rough with a picky hairstyle, and do you know what I mean? We can't look like that, do you know what I mean? We've got to make sure we look the part, because then they look at us, they'll be like, oh yeah, do you know what I mean? I want to look like that.
This mindset Rianne has is one of many in the UK, where black women feel they have to blend in with their colleagues. If this mindset is not challenged, it is possible the perceptions of natural hair towards black people will remain the same.
I remember growing up and watching the Timotei advert of this white woman with blonde hair, wearing white, running around a waterfall or around a meadow and washing her hair in the waterfall and then flipping her head over and flicking it back and all the hair cascading down, and then she's brushing her hair and it's blowing in the wind, and then a man comes along and it's like, oh right, okay, so if you're blonde and white and can wash your hair in a waterfall, not exactly, but then you have that's the ideal.
I think ever since Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, the whole Black Pride movement, the wearing of afros, the wearing of locks, that whole notion of being westernised or African is inscribed into people's hair. So the decisions that people make about hair are political and they're very personal to their identity.
I might just grease my hair. And it takes me literally like 10 minutes. Remember when I had the weave, it took me like an hour just to straighten it. And then you didn't feel good in it, and then you were like, oh, maybe I need to scarf it. But now, spend so much less time on it. One of the bold moves many young black women are making today is cutting off their formerly relaxed hair, leaving their natural hair out in all its glory.
I had enough. It was enough. It was enough of constantly buying weave every 2 weeks, spending £20. Like, you can imagine as a student, it just really didn't make any sense. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I can rock my hair like this. I look good. Like, it's me. Like, I can walk out and be like, wow, I think I look good without having to put on weave and having to cover up, and I can still look attractive. So it's all down to confidence at the end of the day.
Could it be possible that if black women embraced their natural hair within their workplaces, that it would become accepted, rather than it being hidden when no one can accept or appreciate our differences?
One of the things I've been dealing with now are helping people understand what are some barriers to them being able to progress in their careers or in life, and actually what are some of those myths as well. And I think this is a tricky subject matter, because a lot of the ideas about how we're going to be seen and how we're going to be judged can be seen as myths that we're carrying with us, and it may not be true at all.
But I just feel that we're trying to be so acceptable, and actually you stand stronger if you stay strong in your own culture.